Did you miss the Giraffe Pro Camera webinar number 6? Sell listings 7 days faster with AI-powered marketing. Stay tuned for a recording of the entire Giraffe360 webinar. Hi all, I am the digital twin of Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. You're watching a special edition of the WGAN-TV Podcast for digital twin creators shaping the future of real estate today. Giraffe360 gave us permission to share their October 15, 2025 webinar. Giraffe360 founder and CEO Mikus Opelts and Giraffe360 Chief Customer Officer Samy Jeffries and their guests will cover how AI automation helps sell listings faster and win more instructions, how photographers can give agents an edge with powerful market-ready media, how to shoot in the morning and start marketing that same afternoon, and how to reach buyers where they are, from portals to Instagram. Also, Giraffe360 has a special offer for the WGAN community. Try the Giraffe Pro Camera risk-free for 60 days. Just $123 per month for 2 months with no long-term commitment. Scan up to 10 complete property listings at no additional charge, and the test drive includes all add-ons. For full details and to order, visit wgan.info/giraffe360-pro.
Hello everyone, I'm Mikus Opelts, co-founder of Giraffe360. Welcome to our webinar 6. We have really good docket created today here. I hope it will be very valuable, and I have 3 amazing people joining me today. Oh, it's 4. So, but first, Janis Beinerts from the camera team lead. Hey, Janis, how are you?
Hey, Mikus. Good. Thank you. How about yourself? Super happy to be back in a webinar session, and I'm excited about our today's topics.
So, your background doesn't look fake. So you just proved that it's the factory you're standing in. This is where the cameras get manufactured.
Yeah.
Do you have some kits in the background?
We have a Pro cameras here, right there, waiting to be tested as well and then delivered. So, but you're spot on. This is where we assemble the final piece and do the testing. So I'm here from the camera team. So I will give you guys in the end also some updates on the Pro camera as well. So that's one of the key topping points today. But that's at the end of the webinar for us.
And if somebody wants in a Q&A section ask like a walking tour of the factory, I think you guys should jump in and start asking Janis to do that. But great to have you here. Also, as always, Samy Jeffries joining, our CCO. Hey, Samy. I think you're calling in from Ireland today, no?
Yes, I'm in County Kildare. So yeah, beautiful green spot in Ireland. Yeah, pleasure to be here. I think there's lots of people who've been in these webinars before, so like really excited to have people back. And for anybody who's not watched them before, welcome to, I guess your first foray into what we do here at Giraffe. Mikus, if it's okay, I'd love to introduce Nick and Casey. So earlier in the week, I had the great opportunity to ask Nick and Casey some questions about what we're doing here at Giraffe360 and what these guys do as well in their own businesses. Nick's based over here in the UK and is a photographer and media provider working with tons of agencies providing amazing content. We've got a great cut down from the interview we captured the other day, and these guys are here to answer some questions as well. But Nick, pleasure to have you here. How are we today?
Going very well, thank you. You?
Yes, very well, very well. Thank you for joining us. And we also have Casey G, who is over in Arizona. Casey has a team of 5 photographers and media providers servicing tons of agents. And Casey, you've just had 5 days of rain in Arizona, haven't you? So back to work.
It's horrible.
But yeah, pleasure to have both of you on here. I'm really excited to kind of get into those interviews. And as I mentioned, we will have Slido links up on screen. So if anybody's got questions for 2 fantastic media providers, please fire them over and we'll get over to those at the end of the webinar. Back to you, Mikus.
Forward to the Q&A with you guys. Today's agenda, we're going to start with selling listings faster and how the real estate media fueled by Giraffe360 platform can unlock much faster property sales cycles. Next, we're going to jump into the Nick's and Casey's interview pieces. After that, we want to take through probably one example from our finished projects that's being done with the Pro camera, so we can go the journey from the start to finish, from media creation to how those media assets then look already performing in campaigns and channels. We'll show you some examples from Instagram, YouTube, and just overall media performance. And then next subject line for today is AI breakthrough. And big topic, we'll leave it up for later. And last but not least is update from Janis, where we are with the Pro camera, with the beta stage, and when we can expect camera shipments if you are an early user. But with no further ado, I think let's switch gears. Let's jump in today's agenda. To maybe zoom out in Giraffe360, if we can form our ethos is about creating digital first listing journey. We think consumers should access information digitally first and be able to experience it in a high quality, and that's just the advantage of the digital age. And when we look on that ethos and see how we can track whether we are succeeding with it, we ourselves have found this days on the market KPI, because if we are doing good job through our technology, or we're doing a good job working with our partners, photographers and real estate agents, what we see is that days on the market drops because properties get better visibility and they get better digital reach. I think, Janis, maybe you have some echo. You can maybe cut it down for a sec. And so what we already see from existing clients that use a Go camera, the Giraffe Go Cam, we already are cutting at least 1 week from the property sales cycle comparing to similar properties on the market. So we already see that we are creating that impact. And with the Pro camera, as we are getting towards the release and building out the Giraffe platform, that's the metric we are very closely monitoring, like whether we can drive even faster property cycles. And if we move on, if you look on the agent's problem versus photographer's impact, that's how I would frame it. Every extra day on the market costs sellers and agents money. It erodes trust, and it pressures agent to possibly cut commissions, cut prices. So there's always a pressure on the longer the property sits on the market. So we think that's an opportunity for a photographer or for the partner to provide help and assistance, and to make property sales cycle as fast as possible. And what that's going to lead to? It's going to lead to reputation of result-driven partner. It's going to lead to more power in a pricing, and it's going to lead to portfolio of successes. If we move on, then we can summarize the Giraffe goal into Janis on the next slide. We can summarize the Giraffe goal on help sell listings faster. And the Giraffe method is increase content impact and marketing reach for a listing.
Hey, Mikus, maybe I can jump in on this one, because we talked earlier that this Giraffe method that you spoke of, it's quite cryptic to some degree. Maybe you can unpack this one a little bit. What do we mean by content impact and marketing reach?
Yeah, it may be a bit of a mouthful. If you move on, I think it's kind of, we can the simple formula we can propose is immersive content plus multi-channel marketing equals selling listings faster. And when we look on the market today, the buyers, almost 80% of buyers demand more immersive content. For example, we've been on and on about this, that floor plan is the second most requested information from buyers, but less than 10% of listings have floor plans, or less than 15% has floor plans. So overall, less than 10% of agents use full immersive contents. When you go down to videos, 3D, and only 22% of real estate agents today use multi-channel approach. And multi-channel, again, maybe kind of what is a bit of a marketing slang word. Multi-channel means is like we go outside of just portal. We use portal, we use social media, we use email marketing, we use some off digital activities, and those numbers are just, there's a staggering difference from where the consumers, I think Samy told us very well the other day, consumers have completely moved digital first. We swipe, we scroll, we want to experience. And then when we look on the supply side, how what's the supply of the real estate experience today, we see that that's not there, that there's a huge gap, and we can look on that gap as a problem, or we can look on that gap as an opportunity to fulfill, and that's the place where Giraffe with our technology come in, and that's the place where we work with our partners, with our photographers, who we partner up to deliver all these possibilities. But if you, Janis, move on, then every extra day on the market costs sellers money. We at Giraffe want to help to make that process as smooth, as fast as possible, and we can really unlock marketing in multi-channel, make it immersive, make it eye-catching, and make it very valuable for the consumer, which then ultimately going to benefit the seller, the agent, and the photographer in the as we all are tied into the same value chain at the end of the day. But
can I just kind of on this as well? So we speak to a lot of realtors, right? Like lots and lots of realtors on an almost daily basis. And one of the things that you always kind of hear is that lots of realtors have their niche, right? So everybody posts on the MLS and everybody posts on the listing platforms. But agents tend to have like a niche that they work really well with. So when I was speaking with Casey the other day, he gave me an example of an agent who does really well with print. And so they kind of find some of their leads through print and through those channels that they work with. And then you'll have another agent in a similar region or a totally different region who is finding their niche inside social media. So they're getting listings and kind of finding buyers via social media. But it's a complex process, right? So these agents tend to have this one niche outside of their day job, right? So like they've got so much on in the day that they kind of can only kind of fit in one niche because of the complexity, because of everything that goes with trying to build multi-channel marketing. But the agents who we find in these small percentages are the ones who are hitting multiple platforms are often the ones who are finding the most consistency in their days on market. So it's not just hitting print and MLS. It's not just hitting socials and listing portals. It's as much as you can hit, you've got a higher chance of finding buyers over a short period of time. And those buyers are your buyers. So if you list a property and that property is sold, that buyer is then locked into your processes. So they're on your social media. The next home that you list that suits them, they're much more likely to get in touch with you straight away. So I think that may be kind of quite anecdotal, but maybe shares a little bit of how it actually has like a strategic impact on their businesses.
And that's a good segue into that not all channels are created equal. If we look across MLS portals and off-portal experience, the one unifying thing is your hero photo, the first impression of the property that creates the image. And then on MLS and on portal level, the full photography set is critical. That's been the core consumer experience. But when we look off portals, photography, except maybe Facebook, Facebook is not really high engagement content. So when you look off portal experience, you straight away switch to vertical short videos. If it's Instagram Reels that gets the best reach, you're looking on 15 to 30 second videos, where it's TikTok between something like 20 to 40 second videos, and with slightly different algorithm patterns, what performs better on TikTok versus for example Instagram. So also vertical video is not equal once you start double clicking in each platform rules. And so we kind of like have a bit of a blueprint here. It's when you start doubling down in each channel, the performance metrics paints like very nuanced picture. But I think this is quite a good way how to think about what's critical, what's high importance, and how different platforms reward these different media types. And it's in a sense, it's interesting to see that there's not a single platform that actually kind of runs all the media possibilities that consumers want today to experience. And it's but maybe Janis, you can jump in here, and we've been working on this quite a lot and looking into it. So maybe you can add a bit from your experience.
Yeah, from my perspective, this is a really interesting insight that it was also kind of not really surprising, but it kind of opened our eyes to many things, many factors, because this one really ties together what Samy was saying about, because you have so many channels really, and you cannot really apply the same content to all channels equally. You have this metric of so many touchable things that you need to work with to do it right? To adjust the content for a specific channel to make it efficient. And there's some that works better and some that doesn't perform as well. So it's a very high operational activity if you want to cover all of the touch points. And that's why we see the photos being kind of the staple or the main media to start with. And it makes sense because it has the biggest impact across the channels. And we can also see how effective it is. But then we also see that just photo is not enough. I mean, sure, it will get you quite far, but if you look at the statistics of how buyers are engaging with the content when they see it, just by adding immersive content on portals, for example, alone, doubles the click rate, right? And by roughly 60% increases the speed of sales. So sure, photos, very important. You should always start with the photos with good hero image. But then later, it's up to you as an agent or where you are at this point, what you have covered, and your next step is not going to be the next step for another person, right? So it's kind of there's some personalization needs to happen, and depending on your property or your location, you might opt for stressing on a specific channel with a specific asset. Yeah. So it can be overwhelming. That's my kind of what I guess want to summarize. It can get overwhelming.
Yeah, and lots of personalization, lots of channel specifics, and yeah. But I think that's why maybe it's not surprise when if we move on to the next chart of how days on the market has changed over the last 40 years. Property sales actually used to take. Selling home almost took half a year, and what's interesting, if you correlate this with affordability or people's ability to buy the homes, the chart would be going the other way around. So the argument that property sales is becoming faster is not actually happening because affordability is going up. It's the vice versa. So what's driving the property sales is the technological evolution, and when we analyze our clients, then we today from the surveys and from the data see that we are cutting at least a week from that property sales cycle. That's what we see already, and we think that as the infrastructure keeps moving on, and that trend going to go down, and we will keep tracking this efficiency metric, which then proves that the marketing has worked and is finding buyers faster than by not doing full real estate media, not going multi-channel.
Yeah, I can only add that this metric that we are really focused on, which is this days on the market, it's not the absolute metric, but it does tell a lot of story of how effective has marketing campaign been, how good the property was sold, how good the agent and the media provider performed. So it is a kind of metric that we can rely on when making assumptions on how well was everything executed, right? So we do tie back to this metric in a lot of ways, but just it's interesting to see also when it comes to this metric how actually in one way the pressure is building up decade by decade, right? So you are expected also to perform and deliver the sales as an agent super fast because the industry average is getting smaller, and you actually get an actual edge if you can do it even faster than average, and it's really impactful as you as an agent, as a professional, that you can prove it. Hey, look, I'm actually can do this a week faster, and when the average is around 40, that's like a big kind of relative percentage that you can increase your performance in this. So yeah, 100%. Just wanted to look at it. Yeah.
And tie it back to photographers, because we get this question because we speak about agents and marketing mostly, though these webinars are mainly for our photographer partners created. You speak about marketing and agent because that's where that's their problem. So if as a partners, Giraffe has technology and with our photographers we can help them unlock, make them better. Like that's the value we can go in and create. We're sitting in the same value chain. Is kind of what we keep hammering. But maybe that's enough from kind of the industry trends. Maybe we should Samy switch gears and look on Nick's and Casey's insights, and then we can continue with the next steps in the agenda.
Yeah, 100%. I think like we've been through these stats in the past and we've kind of shared these with people who watch the webinars. And I think now's the time for us, after we've been working with some great photography partners like Casey, like Nick, to actually kind of, I had a great opportunity to kind of ask these questions. Okay, so when you're providing like a plethora of marketing content that's kind of packaged up and ready to go for multi-channel, is that actually having an impact on your agents? What does that actually mean for your brand? What does that mean for your agent's performance? And so this is a cut down of 2 fantastic interviews that we did earlier this week, which will play out, and we will obviously post the full interviews, which I think have some fantastic insights. So Nick and Casey, thank you so much for this. We will have a lot more questions for you at the end, but let's run the interview cut downs. Enjoy.
A lot of my clients are doing video now, and we have a package where we include reels and things like that. And those are getting sales through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It sounds crazy. A lot of agents are having trouble wrapping their mind around that. All my agents are asking about socials. 25% actually go through with it, because teaching them about social media and the power of it is a hurdle, no matter the age. The younger agents are a little bit easier to explain and show. The older agents are definitely a little bit harder, but I would say 25% actually use social media like they should. They all ask about it. They all want to do it, but they just feel like it's going to take too much time to do it. So we actually have my marketing person. She runs people's social media for them, because we create the content, we do the content, and we put it out there for them. So something like the Giraffe, where those agents that don't want a full-time manager, or maybe it's not in their budget, but if we provide social media for them, maybe it'll give them that extra confidence just to use what we're providing, just to add it, put tags in and stuff. So low on how many people use it, it's crazy. Here in Arizona anyway, it's mind-boggling to me. The agents, a lot of them don't know what they want, so they're going to be reaching out to you to tell them what they want. We make most of our money in add-ons, so the more I can provide the agent, and the more they'll pay for, the more money our company makes, so we can grow and do better ourselves. One of our huge things is floor plans, and with Giraffe, adding the floor plan automatically while we're going through doing the scan, that's an upsell. Social media is an upsell. Digital twin is an upsell, especially a edited, nice looking digital twin. With the Giraffe, we get high quality, nice, clean. It's like taking a picture, putting it in the virtual tour, and you get it a nice instant view of what people are looking at. So these are all upsells that we can provide. You know, one of our taglines is not just photos. So I can take all that stuff I create and put it in our socials, and it's going to grab people's attention, and that'll just increase our sales when they see a Giraffe video or the photos or social media, and they go, "Oh, how did you make that?" I go, "Well, it's our Giraffe package," and then we just go from there to just all those add-ons. And what's great is it's a time saver, because we're going through one house one time with one piece of equipment, and then all that I'm paying one photographer his time and his expertise to go through the house. But then all those add-ons are just extras, because I pay the one person for that one thing. But then all that extra is just extra income based on whatever packages or add-ons we could sell to the clients.
You know, I'm biased. You know, I'm a big advocate for 360 photography on virtual tours. I mean, I wish they were used more in the UK, because the statistics don't lie. You know, a property listing with a 360 virtual tour is 7 times more likely to sell within the first week, simply because I think what it does is it reduces down the amount of time wasters. If someone comes over to a property, they're just going to turn around and go, "It's a lovely house, but the room's too small," and that's because they look bigger in the photos. Whereas with a 360 tour, that is the best way to show the true scale of a house. Normally with real estate photography, they want it yesterday, and especially if it's a strong listing, you know, the homeowner wants to get out the door, they want to move quickly, all this sort of stuff. They can't be waiting around 3-4 days for photos to be edited. They want them now. And I think leaving it up to a platform like Giraffe, you know, if you can just do your thing and have the peace of mind that you're going to have some incredible still photography of the property, which is a tick, it's going to keep the agent happy, and it's going to keep the person selling the property happy. You've got a great quality virtual tour that's easy to navigate and look at, which but there are a lot of platforms out there where it can look a little bit buggy and laggy, and you have to do too many clicks or whatever it may be, which, to be honest, can be a detrimental effect. You know, people can click off the tour if they don't enjoy navigating it. And the one thing I know to recognize with Giraffe is just how user friendly it is and how nice it is to look around a Giraffe tour. And then obviously you've got the floor plan as well. That's another tick in the box. You've got that done. You've got the AI video. You've got, I mean, I could go on and on and on. You've got your listing sorted. You've got your property description sorted. You've got your contact form sorted. You've got everything sorted. The dynamic has shifted quite a lot with the way younger people view properties, definitely over in the US. From the listings I've seen in Australia, maybe even more so. They do seem to be harnessing more of the social media aspect and modernizing their posts. So I think the power of Instagram is huge from a property photography or property, marketing perspective. Even TikTok is, more and more people are, I think the average demographic of TikTok is around the first time buyer age. So it's another huge platform, but putting a post on TikTok and putting a post on Instagram, they kind of have to be slightly different. You wouldn't put the same post on LinkedIn as you would on Instagram or Facebook. They all have to be kind of customized a bit. I mean, I think having something that is unique, especially with TikTok, when you literally have half a second to make an impression. If someone is doom scrolling, they're going to listen to the first, not even 1 second of it. So you have to have something that draws them in. And that one thing could either be a brilliant video or a high quality photo, or something funny. The most important thing for me is spending more time with the family. That's been a big game changer since technology has improved. It gives me more time for myself, which I think is important from a mental health perspective. Because if you're just constantly sat in front of the computer hour after hour after hour after hour, editing, as much as you enjoy editing, it gets frustrating after a while, just doing it all the time. So I think having a bit of that pressure taken off your shoulders by technology is brilliant. It can only be a positive.
Fantastic. So absolutely brilliant. And I think like the cut down is great for kind of getting the main bits over there, but the full interviews that we will post, there is tons of really interesting insight in there. And one of the things that kind of stood out from our chat, Casey, when we spoke the other day, was you mentioned, and I think we had it in the cut down there as well, that the add-ons for you are where the majority, or that's what the add-ons are where you kind of make the bread, right? That's where the sausage is made, is through kind of those additional things that you can sell to agents. And so what historically did the process look like of trying to get agents kind of on board with adding additional things on top of the photography? And has that changed over the last few years?
It's changed a lot. Originally it was just photos, and then they started to add a little bit of video. Drone was big, but now you need a full marketing package. Like today after this webinar, I'm doing video, drone, intro, outro, agent introduction, talking, community photos, all this stuff all in one. So the more we can provide for a client, the better.
And what from your perspective do you think has driven that shift? Because I know, when we spoke the other day, you said maybe 5 years ago, they wouldn't come to you asking for that, right? It's not something that agents were asking you for so much. So yeah, what do you think is actually driving the agents to come and have that expectation from you as a media partner?
Social media. Social media is driving everything. People see other people doing it. They want to copy, emulate, do something similar, do something better. Social media is huge. It helps us promote ourselves along with promoting the agent's brand. We're really big at Agent for Marketing, is promoting everybody's brand so they can promote themselves, sell themselves to the next client. Not only, and by doing that, using Giraffe, you can create a great package for them to sell the house they're currently selling and show their next client.
Fantastic, thanks. And Nick, one of the things you said in the cut down there, which I love, is you kind of mentioned that like what you would post on LinkedIn is not the same as what you would post on Facebook or what you'd post on Instagram. And I guess it's the same with anything, right? I'm not going to wear a suit to a football game, and I'm not going to wear a football shirt to go to a meeting, right? But how is it that you kind of make the decision when you're providing content to your agents? How do you decide how to package up for each kind of individual platform that they're going to post on?
I suppose it really comes down to the age demographic. If you're selling a property that's suited to a first-time buyer, then you're going to package that content differently as opposed to a big 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house. Young people are getting richer and richer, as we go on. But the majority of the demographic, I can only really speak for the UK. But yeah, and it is all still quite new here. I think as Casey said, over in the States, I think MLS listings are a lot more advanced than the UK. I think they have been for a while, but we are catching up. But yeah, I think it really does depend massively on the age demographic itself, how you actually portray that initial social media post.
Yeah, and one of the things you said in our interview that really kind of landed with me was, kind of mentioned that looking at TikTok and Instagram Reels, the average age of users is so the second largest band of like Reels and TikTok users pretty much marries up exactly with the average first-time buy-in age in the UK. So you know that you have a captive audience. So as you just said there, if you're selling a house, which is kind of a great starter home, then the people who you're selling it to digitally live on Instagram Reels, and they're scrolling them, doom scrolling, as you said. So you're really likely to get them if they're, that's where they're engaging. You're likely to get them with content if it's kind of meaningful, packaged, and ready to go for those platforms. So yeah, really looking forward to kind of sharing those full interviews with everybody. And we should have a Slido link popping up on the screen very soon. So if anybody has any more questions for Nick and Casey, please fire those over and we will jump into those at the end of the webinar. Back over to you guys to run us through some live examples of what is going on at Giraffe360.
Yeah, Janis, can you lead the way? I think we have the dashboard showing up. I think what would be good, so we don't get only theoretical. Let's actually look on end-to-end process. And Giraffe platform has more than 120 features, so we can't. There's no then this is not the goal is not to do the product demo.
All right, so I guess we had some audio thing happening. So I'll pick up where we left off, presenting the dashboard, basically, or how we sometimes call it Content Studio. So this is the view that you post the capture process would be greeted with once your assets and everything from the property have been uploaded and post-processed through our AI pipelines. We have covered that process, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But what I want to highlight is that, yeah,
maybe Janis, I can straight away call out then our immediate renderings then include still photography, virtual tour, floor plan, and we now produce 3 different video formats off the back in the Content Studio.
Exactly, and this is this new addition that is comes with the Pro Camera package. These are Gaussian Splat generated videos. We're gonna show you some examples later on, but what's immediately to be seen that it fits in with the rest of the kind of media package in terms of lighting, colors, etc. And it comes out basically automatically off the bat. You don't have to do too much addition in order to immediately get video as a content that you can also share on social medias. Mainly, that's the key channel, I would say, there where the video is the key aspect and shines the most. And speaking of sharing, channels, I guess I can move to this section here, which is called Spotlight for us. This is where let's see if it's loaded in. This is our kind of marketing distribution channel, which automatically does additional processing. I guess I would say that would be fair to say, where the branding and some of the content is applied to these assets, creating these social posts, email campaigns, direct messaging, prints. It's all here basically generated automatically. Obviously, you need to still add your company details, your branding details, the property details, but even there, you have a simple input fields and assistance how you can do it pretty fast and independently on your own. And then you're basically just one click away to launch your first campaign automatically. And maybe to highlight the section that you pointed out, Mikus, in the previous section, our Gaussian Splat videos, I will just show an example here that, let's see, yeah, perfect. So immediately you get an example shot here. How does the drone footage style video would look like in a portrait mode, where we kind of show, and this is the crazy part. Those who know how the property capture happens, where we go scan by scan, this is basically then putting all that data together to create this digital 3D geometry, which we use then to create this footage. And then depending if you go social or you go YouTube, you can swap the orientation and go portrait or landscape. Same with here. Another style. It's a bit different style. This is what we call cinematic video, where it's more calm, more showcasing this sliding motion, which goes section by section of the property, and you can also edit these sections, put another section in or out. You can apply audio track to it, automatic narrator in the editing tool. So it's not only kind of generated right away, but you can add some of your personalized aspects to it, like adding you as an agent in the background, your contact details right off the bat. So, and we'll show you later how this ties to off-portal marketing channel property website, which then is a hub where all of these leads would be linked to, and you have a kind of directly available leads that you can contact with.
And
you guys want to jump in?
Yeah. I wanted to comment on the if you go back to the main window where we have all the assets, and so Janis, you mentioned the Gaussian Splat 3D model, because I think like when we look on the platform experience, lots of portals, MLS is static. It's not designed for dynamic experience, and photography is not good input file to create a video. Video is motion creation, and so our Giraffe video. So, and we have one video product that builds on tours that has a naturally higher resolution because of the how good is the panorama editing. That's the video you see there on the side. But we're really working on the Gaussian model to create the dynamics to that. So it's less about maybe pixels, the resolution. I think it's very fair to say that the Gaussian videos is about engagement. How does it kind of capture the audience? So we have been very toying with the Gaussian technology and how to render very engaging, quick format videos, and that's the fundamental bet with the Giraffe video productions here to the Gaussian splats, and maybe kind of to segregate that every content also has its strength, like the where panoramas will always have probably higher resolution than and a 3D model will be just more dynamic and that kind of sets their use. They kind of applied in different places and could be differently. But maybe this is enough of a segue. Janis, actually, let's look on them how they look when we start posting them. Or Samy, you had something you wanted to add?
No, I think it will come across really nicely as we show kind of the content in situ. But thinking back to the slide earlier where we showed what is a relatively complex grid of how different content performs on different platforms or what content works best, that listing spotlight rationale is that you actually, as a media provider, you're providing those raw assets to the agent, right? So you're able to edit, make them look how the agent wants. You'll do the capture process, but then the complexity then starts for the agent from the asset delivery. And that's where listing spotlight comes into play, because it's saying, hey, if you want to push a campaign, these are the channels that we recommend that you push the campaign on. Here's stories. Here's an amalgamation of the content that your media provider has captured for you. So now for the media provider, your job doesn't stop at the point of sending the files over to the agent. It actually continues in terms of the kind of benefits that they see from working with you as a kind of full 360 media provider. So I think it kind of really nicely kind of shows how the complexity that we saw in that earlier slide is solved with kind of some of the things that we're trying to build on our side.
Yeah, 100%. Janis, do you want to start with the website next, or you want to go through the, I guess, website?
I got lost browsing through. Yes, let's go website, but I'm not sure. We should. It's a pity we don't have enough time to go through all of the kind of opportunities and options that you can actually achieve by. But okay, let's go for now to the property website, because this is one of the key channels that we see crucial if you want to go off portals, and this is basically the hub that because you want to make sure that you can track how effective you are as an agent, right? And you want to have a place where you can actually gather those leads, and you can start communication with the potential buyers and sellers. And there's no better place to do it if than like a property website. Let me see if I can preview it. And this is something you also straight away in a content studio see that this website is generated automatically, collecting all the key data from the property that you have inputted, the key images, the key interactive immersive content, and you are greeted with this ready to launch property website. And as of the best practices, we start off with the highlight hero images, right? Because we know those are something that really attracts and buyers want to get an instant, quick overview of the property.
But and Janis, if you can stay on the photos for a second. I asked Nick earlier before we started the webinar, how does he like our pro camera? He actually highlighted the photo quality. I just want to double click one more time that the new rendering models, how we edit photographies, has made a real big progress this year. It already started beginning of the year, so our photography is increasing in its output quality. That's what we keep hearing from our users. But please continue.
Yeah, that's a good addition. Like you said, we cannot stress enough that there's a big kind of importance of the image quality, especially also positioning, how to attract potential buyers. But just to highlight also what the property website achieves is that you can highlight your key details, neighborhood details, insights. Then you immediately get embedded these virtual tours that you can right away jump in. We have this amazing new feature. I would like 3D immersive floor plan that is interactable, and so this is completely new from us, and I'm also excited to play around. So not just a 2D, which is already great that you can see the rooms, the floor, the area, and everything. But you key metrics, and you can go up and down, But also this new kind of interactive element that also just helps you better to understand what's the space like, what's the relation to the rooms, etc. So the potential buyer can easily get immersed in the property and know what it's potentially like. And as always, ending with Mikus, you wanted to, I think,
I had two stats. Einar sent me this morning the update on the performance, because we had the 3D model, we covered it on our last webinar. We've now been having it for 4-ish weeks, and so we have hundreds or not thousands of pages generated by our users. And what we see that the average session duration has gone 60% up, 57% to be exact. So previously this landing page holded users' attention for 4 minutes and 17 seconds just by adding this immersive 3D model. And just is not a good word. It's an understatement. The model is very engaging. I think 2D floor plans are very hard to read if you're not a professional user. For agents, for photographers, for architects, it's easy. But this actually allows people who are interested in the property to engage with it, and we see that on the performance metric. And from our own stats, I see that the website generation has gone 200% up. So as we launched this interactive, going back to the formula we showed at the beginning of the webinar, immersive content plus multi-channel distribution equals faster sales. And this is one practical nugget where that goes back to the user engagement. Like it's a significant boost just by one feature. One feature that what's important to maybe underscore, if I can kind of highlight that this feature is, but this is only when users are interested in the property. Like the immersive content really doesn't work if you're not captured, if you're not interested in the. That's why the photography and the description, the location, the price, those sit way earlier in the journey. And these immersive experiences, except when we're going to talk about social media for the reach, they sit more on them as we can call them as content marketing tools. They sit when the users are interested, then they want to play around. I guess, Samy, you've had tons of feedback about the 3D model. Anything you want to share? Or are there people who doesn't like it? Maybe because it's maybe too self-congratulating that we want to boost around our 3D floor plan.
No, and I think it's just a whole new immersive element to the platform, right? The one thing that I did hear is somebody said to me yesterday, you can tell this was developed in Latvia because they're assuming triple glazing windows.
Yeah. I know who said that. Yeah. Okay, let's then switch on. Look on how does these things look on the social media.
All right, let me go back to our content studio, and let's jump to Spotlight. Correct? This is where
I think on the slides we have a showdown of Instagram, YouTube, and
true.
And the performance.
I'll just switch back to our presentation then. Perfect.
Yeah, I think Janis and Samy, you guys spend lots of time with portals. Maybe you can a bit elaborate what is the best practice if we use homes.com as a reference point. What do they perform best in the portals, and what's like the core for the portals, and what's the experience that they expect, and what are the publishing rules there?
Yeah, I guess I could jump in. So the portals vary quite a lot, right? Portal to portal, what they'll allow you to share, how much branding you can post on there. So it's very important, depending on the portal you use, to go and check their kind of regulations. But what we know is on portals, people are avidly looking for property, right? It's not social media where you're trying to stop the scroll. It's not where you need loud and bright. It's where you want to showcase the best elements of the property early in the process. So we know that on portals, the highest performing content are the hero images. So those first images that people see that will kind of get them off that scroll through the list of properties in a region into the property that you want them to take a look at. So you want to make sure that your hero image is bright. It captures the most important elements of the property, which could be the front shot if it's a beautiful home, with a great curb appeal, or if it's a space like this, we have an amazing kind of dining area, kitchen, open plan. We want to showcase all of that. And the second thing, which isn't utilized enough on these, is the floor plans. So on platforms like homes.com, the data is amazing. They've got tons and tons of data around the area, the schools, the transport links, all that type of amazing stuff. But what's really, really important, which will make your property stand out, as Mikus mentioned earlier, only a fraction of agents are posting floor plans. That floor plan will get people to spend more time on your listing and start to picture themselves in the home. So adding the floor plans to these, I think, is absolutely paramount.
Yeah, and most of the portals have search for 360. The virtual tour is a search, and I think Janis, you already mentioned earlier that just by using that in your description and having the virtual tour straight away puts you way higher up in the bracket than not having a virtual tour. That even doesn't go to when people
Yeah, exactly. So even how you write or describe the property has a key influence. How I guess high up in the rankings it will be listed. So kind of semi-hidden knowledge or functionality that actually has a big impact if your property will be shown or not. Okay. Should we jump forward then on?
I guess we can go.
Yeah.
Yes, please go on.
So do you mean go as the next slide or?
No, I can stand out here. Apologies everyone for a bit of a confusion here. No, and I think here is a good example how the vertical video performs. We can upload our long form video on YouTube. There's lots of discovery that's happening today on YouTube, and YouTube, if you don't go in shorts, is one of the. I think I'm now not sure if ChatGPT has overtaken, but it used to be the second biggest search engine in the world. And YouTube main content section is actually good for longer format contents, and that's where our longer format videos comes in. Whether it's a longer format Gaussian Splat, or this is based on panoramas, which is more higher quality, higher resolution. And for this video, we don't have it here because we're talking over it, but there is an AI voiceover that reads out the script, and the AI voiceover is really good. It makes it really engaging, and the storytelling is good. So, and that whole production happens automatically. But I think what's really engaging are the new Gaussian performances on social media. So I already mentioned that we have been working on this immersive engaging model that will be the core for how how the properties are showed on Reels, because on whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or Shorts in YouTube, that's the platform with the very short attention span, but with a high intensity. So by the media production requirement is to produce a very high-paced, high-engaging property presentations. But how we think about these video productions is there's big trend of agents kind of putting their themselves in the shot, and lots of the presentation becomes about the agent, and that's great for brand building. But I think that takes away from that listing marketing, and by using this 3D model, the Gaussian Splat model, as a core input, and creating very engaging. This is like we call it the drone shot fly through. We actually can put the property in the center, and there will be people who are gonna find that in the explore page and then gonna be like, oh, this is perfect property for myself. And but maybe Samy, Janis, do you want to add something on the socials and what you have seen lately?
Yeah, I think the socials is totally different to the MLSs and the platforms, right? So socials is kind of like momentum piece. You want to kind of capture that attention really, really early in that user process, and you also want to get a little bit of like kind of what you do as an agent or a media provider across very, very quickly. So having high quality dynamic content will not just get people to look at that single property, but might get that individual then to click into your page and look at what it is you do. So that could potentially be generating a lead for a seller, for a buyer. If you're a media partner, that could generate an agent who wants to sell properties with you, i.e. have you go and capture that full media suite for them. And I think, like, if I can very quickly summarize kind of how I see the different platforms. So the MLS is like, it's your launch pad, right? That's where you're going to start. You want to get all of the content that you have that you can post in the MLS, because obviously they're heavily regulated, the same day you shoot. Like, you want to get that property live on the MLS as quickly as possible. That's going to find other kind of buyer agents to work with you. That's going to, anybody who's searching via MLSs, you want that content there live as quickly as possible. That's your listing live. That's kind of step one. And then you've got Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, all these amazing portals. And I think that where you're rewarded on portals is by posting listings that feel complete, right? You need as much information there, because that's where people are there to kind of digest information in their own time at their own pace. They've gone there specifically for that home buying journey. So you'll be rewarded if you've got a kind of like a full listing. So your photos, your 3D tours, your floor plans, video, you want to make sure there's much content in there that can kind of pull through for similar listings in the carousels, et cetera, et cetera. But that's where you really want to hit that full media kind of, everything that you can provide. And then off portal, as I mentioned, is very different. It's about quick kind of eye capturing, letting people know what location this home is in, so they know, okay, that's me, that I'm near there. And it's about telling them as much about that property in a short period of time as you can, and then trying to bring them into your kind of ecosystem, which is your page. And then YouTube, again, lots and lots of agents find buyers on YouTube, and find buyer agents and media providers, find agents on YouTube as well. I think it's a very underrated platform. But again, that's about posting the long form content, showing the home in its entirety, and you want a really nice description of the property so people can kind of do everything in that one YouTube page. So I think every platform has real kind of differences in terms of how you'll be rewarded based on what you put into them, and you need to be able to produce all of that content at a high quality, at pace, and get it across all of those platforms to maximize your potential as an agent or media partner.
Nice. I think this is a good place to transition then to the production and the AI that unlocks it, because I think that's for me has been one of the biggest why the industry hasn't progressed faster. And if we look on the old model, the capture it has like 10 plus steps in it. You capture photos on site, upload files to multiple platforms, outsource editing, manually draft floor plans, stitch tours, hire a video editor, build property site, create social posts, send email, design print flyers, manage storage and hosting. It's just lots of steps. And when AI unlocks for us the new model of a one capture flow, where we can automate lots of this production, lots of this tedious job. And Janis, if you go to the next slide, then we can summarize the AI breakthrough into this one simple narrative, that the old model was manual pipelines, new model is AI native pipeline, one platform, ready in hours. And what's one of the other benefits that AI is introducing for us is the fixed pricing capability, because with the AI technology, we no longer need to price per project because there's editors, somebody drawing something, somebody editing. It's an AI engine doing the job. So we can, as a technology providers, as a product providers to photographers and agents, we can actually remove lots of the pressure on per project costs and just switch to a fixed pricing. And I may be flagging AI, and that sounds like we are maybe using the latest buzzword, because since ChatGPT came out, and it's been the kind of the hot topic, and every company tries to claim their AI. So maybe it's worth for me to kind of just to spend a bit, highlight a bit history of Giraffe. We started as a robotics company. We started to build our first cameras, and the second big team we started to build was the AI team. That was in early 2020s, and so we today have scanned more than 1 million properties, and that's the training data set. And our early AI models were designed really around just making sure that you can build the floor plan. That was one of the most complex things, or editing photography. But as the technology matures and as our AI capabilities mature, and we can use more resources from the industry, from the whole boost, we have been able to develop what's a very strong engine, but it's not like a quick thing that's been happening for the last year or last 2 years. We've been building AI engine for Giraffe for more than 5 years. It's been a very grueling, very slow progress, and kind of there's been lots of blood, sweat, and tears into that development, especially when we keep in mind the subjectivity of real estate media, because like floor plan is the only objective media format there is. Objective, I mean, there's a legal restriction that says in ANSI standard, this is what accurate means. Like there is what's quality is subjective. What's a good picture? What's a good video? What's a good banner? It's subjective, and in this industry, client is always right. And so if client says, oh, I don't like the pictures, like that means your quality is bad. So to some extent, and quality is impossible to discuss objectively, and so it becomes this very subjective like or don't like matter, where automating and building AI adds a complete new layer to it. But that's the kind of maturity you now gonna. We are packaging together with a pro camera. You have advanced spatial capture hardware, the AI pipeline for generating real estate media, and then Spotlight, what we showed a moment ago, that starts to generate marketing ready, publish ready, and automates distribution of this media already packaged in the best performing format for the specific platform. And I think if we switch gears, maybe Janis, you can share some light on AI technology. What's a glorification and what's the reality?
So I'm pretty happy that we showed this example case earlier there, where we showed how does content looks on the Content Studio and how we distribute it among multiple channels, and that we need to kind of do so that there's so much work in it if you would do it manually, right? To actually create all of those assets, then readjust them, export them, etc. And this is what we mean. We actually are at the moment automating like most of these operational related activities, and that can be done by AI, and we see that pretty much most of it's already there, and only leaving like a need for an agent or photographer to do the just touch-ups, like applying branding or making some key decision makings on this distribution kind of related topics, right? And I think this
if I can just double click on that point, sorry, but those 5% shouldn't be treated as just. Those are extremely important. We learned that the hard way, that the AI is not able to deliver 100% result because of the subjectivity, because of the personification, and so it's a very important step that the media partner plays there. So lots of tediousness has gone away, lots of complex software using has gone away, but there is an important touch to actually make the listing for that specific agent, for that specific house, for that specific client, and we think that last 5, 3, 2, or 1% will always be there, and that's an important step that AI can't achieve a full automation in real estate media creation. That there is a personalization required. That's like an industry template. Just wanted to double click on that point.
Excellent that you jumped in on this because I was more thinking in actually like a creation part, but then the selling part is completely, the agent is completely irreplaceable there, and this is what we are kind of also are highlighting, that we will. Our goal is to reduce all these operational aspects, so the agent be in a drive seat and have more time for the activities that actually bring the impact, like selling the property, talking to his customers, building these personal relationships, because he physically has more time now to do so. And that's kind of we unlock this ability to actually spend this effort in these areas without need to go juggling multiple vendors, multiple asset creators, etc. So that's kind of the why it is a positive kind of reinforcement loop that comes out from this. And this is just another way to visualize when it comes to creation and packaging, where AI is kind of in the background, a heavy lifter. Obviously, we talk about it and we explain the technology here, but in reality, how it's working, it's actually in the background, and that's our kind of also, I would say, to some degree, the kind of I would say the goal, to make it kind of very seamless. So it's just an engine working to help you do things more efficiently, etc. But it's not going to be like something that we're going to throw as a highlight when it comes to actual listings or property showcases. It's just an enabler for more efficient kind of performance from agent side.
And here you can see the immediate impact. Today, the photo rendering takes around 3 hours, where majority of time is actually upload, and as it goes through the workers, and then it gets published back on the AWS, so you receive it. But we are targeting that the full media renderings happens within 5 hours. That's our KPI. With if we have some AI bugs, it now takes to the 12 hours, 13 hours. So with every media profile, there's some complexity that goes within, and so if today the industry standard is everything's ready next day, or there's like 2 to 3 day windows, we can really unlock. Like, this is one of the advantages of AI pipeline. Like, you go scan it, the AI will not do that. Capture cadence is critical to pay attention in the scan process and to do scan right, so the rendering can happen. And then it's a 5 hour window in which the rendering happens, and then a user can start polishing, doing the touches, and that listing can be live in the same day. It can go live. I'm a bit conscious of the time. I think we'll let's touch upon the pro release and the last aspect of the AI breakthrough. Maybe that's not the last aspect, but one of the ones we want to probably touch upon today is the price impact. And historically, using platforms, 10 different softwares, juggling these operations, it costs a lot of money. That's how I started my journey in this industry back in 2010. Started a virtual tour photography company. When we did the virtual tours, we used the Care Pano and then Canon camera with the rig to do manually photography. Then the stitching softwares, and it's gotten way more advanced in the 15 years. But with the next AI step, and this is how we think about we can preview the pro camera pricing, because we haven't showed it yet, and even though the product is still in beta, we wanted to showcase for our kind of closer community that we will be switching to a fully fixed pricing, which will be $360 a month, which kind of. But the main thing I wanted to symbolize here is the fixed cost aspect with an asterisk for a fair use policy of 60 projects per month, and that's where the fair use applies to. Is that the transition from project-based pricing, transition away from independent costs per project. It's a transition to the AI system where you have a camera system for the capture device, the AI rendering, and then the interface, and which allows 10 times more flexibility. Because when I remember my early days in the industry, the difference between a high quality listing and low quality listing was the budget. So when you have a great listing, there's a big budget, so you go and spend, you fly drone, you do 3D tour, you shoot video, and then when you go to the mass market, you just don't have that budget, so you kind of end up settling for a very basic presentation. And I think price has always been the hot topic in the industry. So we have been really one of the reasons why we were focusing so much on AI, so we can kind of break this chain and just focus on the quality of a consumer experience and how to provide the best marketing instead of that being the budget conversation. But Janis, maybe you can give us you're in the factory, so maybe you can give us an update on where we are with the pro camera shipments and how is it going with the pro cameras? Yeah, where we are.
Yeah, so I think it's obvious that we actually wanted to launch the full launch today, but when it comes to beta, we see that we still want to explore a little bit more before we commit to launch when it comes to how are our beta testers using the product. We want to see the full project releases. We want to see how it impacts their days on the market aspect. We basically see that we need more time to actually analyze the performance of the camera so we can see if it matches our vision or narrative. We strongly believe that about the things that we mentioned beforehand, where the industry is going and what's going to be the next breakthrough. But we are still actually in the time where we are actually testing this fully. So cameras are actually ready and the software and the tools are ready. But we decided to give it a bit more time with the engagement with the betas to extend the beta phase. So the beta phase is basically still open and open for more people who are interested in this value proposition that and the functionality that we are displaying here. So I don't know, maybe Samy, you want to jump on this one regarding the betas and how we are kind of managing them at the moment.
Yeah, betas are out, so there's some great people with cameras in their hands at the moment, and I guess one of the biggest things, as you know, Janis, is trying to find that sweet spot, because anybody who's seen previous webinars would understand kind of, the Gaussian Splat process. So that's where we're generating that kind of full 3D render of the space. And where we are right now is trying to optimize that line between what the optimal scan cadence looks like to generate the best quality output.
Exactly.
And that's something that we really need to get right, isn't it? Because we need to be able to say to somebody, hey, this is exactly how you use the camera and this is the output that you get. So if you want to go further, this is the impact it will have on the output. And if you want to go less, this is the results that you'll get from the camera. So we need to find that line, and then we need to kind of fix some of the things that we see on the Gaussian Splat output. So I think we're very close to it, and we're getting great feedback, and we're getting some feedback about things that aren't working just yet. And I think it's a really exciting time to be a part of the beta process. And yeah, we're making kind of big progress every single day.
It's pretty cool to also. Go ahead.
Yes, please go on, Janis, you first.
No, I just wanted to double down on the fact that we have, I think we have roughly 30 cameras out there, and we see these projects coming in, and we see how people are using the Gaussian Splat already, how it takes shapes, and what are the kind of the strong side, and how it actually gives this opportunity for especially for the social channels, but also like the weak sides, right? We still see that we need to nail down on how to actually capture them. We need to nail the communication about the product as well. So it's not just based on the quality. It's actually, so we want to test our theory that actually delivering the campaign faster sometimes is much more higher in return in value than maybe 1 or 2 pixels better video, right? So there's definitely some key aspects still to explore on our side, and also how each channel would benefit even more from these videos, that we can give also better playbooks for the users once we actually launch a camera.
So to summarize, yeah. So if you are a beta user or you're interested to be a beta user, you can still get the kits, and we would love to work with you. The focus during the beta test is now running full campaigns and analyzing the campaign performance. We're kind of out of the camera testing phase. Like I have the Giraffe kit here. I've been using it. We have tons of people out there, and so we want to fully test the platform, and then we're going to switch to the early access. So everybody who's on the early access list will receive the kits, and we're going to update that week on week, and we're going to have a weekly update, the cadence, how the things are progressing. So everybody who's on the early access list will be the first to receive as soon as we put the final touch on a beta test and switch to the early access users. And maybe just to really stress the point how we started the webinar, Giraffe platform reduces days on the market. We see that from the Go camera users. We are cutting at least a week from a sales process. With the Pro, we are unlocking way richer, way vaster functionality, and we're going to have even a greater impact on the market. So less operations, more marketing is a tagline under which we can summarize this all. And maybe, Samy, it's now enough of information, and we can switch to the Q&A section.
Yeah, perfect. And again, Slido link is right here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to fire them over. So first question, and I'm gonna pitch this one to our amazing media partners we have on the call today, starting with UKC. So how much more can you charge for a full media kit versus purely photos?
On an average house, our full media kit, like the Giraffe, would be $1,100 with everything: social media, photos, video, everything all included.
Nice.
How does that kind of compare? So thinking about the Pro camera pricing, which obviously is huge, kind of AI breakthroughs have enabled something pretty major in terms of pricing. So how does that fit in now to your business model, thinking about that reduction in cost versus what you would do with Giraffe historically?
Well, the main thing is flat rates. Like if I know what something's going to cost ahead of time, then I can give better deals. Like every agent loves a discount. So if I know it's going to cost me $360 to do this full production, I know no matter what the size of the house is or what it is going to be, I could promote benefits, bonuses, promote them, the social media, all those aspects. It's just, like I said, I get all my money from add-ons. So if it costs me $360 for my first photo for the one time, and then the rest of the month, it's no cost to me. It's just constant inflow of income for the team and growing our company.
Amazing.
And I guess, Casey, if I can jump in, it probably gives you more flexibility to provide test shots and just like do marketing promotions because you don't have a constant or per project cost that which always I'm kind of maybe too much stressing on this, but would that flexibility does that play into your day-to-day operations much?
It's huge. I said on the original interview, having somebody that with some experience, knowing how to set up a camera, I can. Right now, I spend 2 weeks training somebody how to take photos the way I want to do videos. Sometimes I have to have 3 different people to do one thing because they all can't do that one thing. So having a Giraffe camera, having somebody with some expertise going through that house saves me time. I don't have to hover over them, and I get the same product no matter what. The AI edits it, and on the back end, my marketing person puts it all together, and that's that 5% I think you guys were talking about, just somebody putting the final touches on. So it opens up a lot of opportunity for more employees because they can do more stuff with just the one camera.
Perfect. And for you as well, Nick, so obviously different market over here in the UK, but how does it compare from a pricing perspective for your business, providing just the photos versus that kind of full rich media package?
I think you're muted, Nick, now.
Oh, I don't know if anybody else can hear Nick.
No, I think, Nick, you're muted. You're muted. No.
I'm not showing.
There we go. Oh, we had you for a sec.
Yes.
You got me now?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, it was showing unmuted, but couldn't hear me. So I think predominantly it's going to be a kind of watch this space question for me, because I'm mainly a commercial 360 photographer. The virtual tour and interior photography side of things, or the real estate side in the UK for me, has been quite quiet because I've been so busy on the commercial photography side of things. However, with the introduction of the Giraffe Pro camera and even the Go camera, it's kind of pushed me into offering those services once more. There's a lot of sort of photography agencies out in the UK, so it's having to compete with them. But I think with this, it's not going to be difficult at all. So price wise, I don't know.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Well, I guess it opens up an avenue for you in your business.
Yeah.
Perfect. Next question. I guess this is internal for Giraffe360. So will the pro videos be available on the property website soon? I love to hear people asking questions about property website. It's great to see like how all the content is kind of feeding into it. But yeah, Janis or Mikus, thoughts on that? Will we be providing the pro video content in the property website?
Actually, I don't think I can answer this one. Mikus,
I think
we need to check this one actually, and then.
Yeah. There's no pipeline right now that actually has planned to get the videos into the experience, because there's already pictures, virtual tour, now the 3D model. But if there's a good push from our users that they want the videos added into the landing page experience, that's obviously not a big issue. Vice versa, we have been trying to figure out how to move that 3D model that you see in the website, how to move that in an Instagram reel, how to produce it as a video format, but then it's like recorded experience instead of interactive experience, and we already saw there is big interest moving from the website, the 3D model into the videos, and having that as one of the Reels video styles.
Amazing. Good stuff. And I know there's a big appetite to kind of pull as much, from speaking to Einars, who runs our immersive team, like there's a big appetite to pull a lot of the different kind of elements of the platform from a visual perspective into kind of really cohesive video content, social content. And so, yeah, I think it's a great suggestion, and we'll keep an eye on that in terms of getting the videos into the listing website. So next question, do you have plans to bring more features and enhancement to the core virtual tour experience? There's lots of great stuff coming from a marketing perspective, but we will continue to evolve the virtual tour product to continue to stay ahead of other platforms on the market.
Yeah, we have two really strong concepts how to evolve that virtual tour. I will keep my mouth shut on how does those concepts look. We're internally still debating how does that next stage of the virtual tour experience looks, and I kind of already alluded to when we picked the content. So videos are switching also to become more engaging and the full property experience. So then there's photography, then there's these 3D models. Where does the virtual tour sits as that ultimate consumer engagement where you spend the most time and exploring it? Yes, there will be next steps in that virtual tour evolution. I think it's to some extent a bit overdone. We've been experiencing the same style of virtual tour interface since early, 2015. So I think this style of virtual tours has kind of gotten very polished, but it's time to get to the next stage with them.
Perfect. So the next question, somebody chasing shipping dates. Obviously, we started pre-orders some time ago. And so I guess I can take this one. Like, as you saw in earlier slides, we're very keen to work with beta users. So if you're in the waiting list and you're kind of keen to get involved and happy to kind of provide feedback and work with a couple of bugs through us, then we're more than happy to get the camera to you and work on campaigns and try to make it as successful as possible with you. So for that individual, I think we have the details. So I'll reach out, or have a member of the team reach out after this call. For anybody in a similar position, feel free to email us, cs@giraffe360.com, and we'd love to get you set up as a part of the kind of pre-release and beta program.
Janis, you could show the shipping boxes, so you can, it's real. You kind of have them on the one of I think it's on your right now.
I don't know. Does it shine through? It's over there, but
I
didn't expect to show you the full factory, but we can do it later. I can get the showcase.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, we noticed that assets tend to come back quicker in the daytime. Are there plans to enable project assets processing overnight? Mikus, I guess AI breakthroughs huge for this.
Yeah, and we have AI quality assurance. So every project gets actually a review from a person. It's not the full. It's not the AI just creates something and then there's no touch upon. We have our own quality assurance that takes a step, and we now run it roughly 20 hours a day. So we have two main time zones. Our office in Latvia and Manila looks after does the quality assurance. So overall, we're delivering projects, and there are peaks when we have more people on the quality assurance, and when there are less. But we try to manage that with the upload and download times, and we can very well see when each country has woken up and the projects are starting to come in, and so we now have roughly 20-hour coverage, and we want to keep working on that. But it's a kind of twofold question. One is the AI stability and what can render, and the quality assurance. We don't release project before it's gone through the quality assurance. Just we didn't talk about it today, but that's a step in our process. That's part of our philosophy. We started as professionals in this field. This industry requires quality, and so we always had this quality assurance and AI bug fixing stage, and that's part of the 5-hour rendering time today.
Perfect. So next question. So I can take this one. Will the $360 per month kick in after the promotional period? Yes, that's the pricing that we have set out for the Pro camera. So after the promo period, if you're happy, which we're sure you will be, you will jump onto the $360 per month with the unlimited, with the little fair usage asterisk underneath it. This next question I absolutely love, and I'd love Casey or Nick to jump in. I guess, Casey, you've been using it. You're kind of providing multitudes of content to agents already. But this question is great. So as a beta tester, we're offering the whole package off for 50% off our $500 price. Do others charge for the package, or do they charge a la carte? And so I guess, Casey, like, what's your thoughts on that as a process? Do you charge a la carte? I know how you do it, so I'm really kind of keen to hear it.
Well, it's I have a giraffe package, so I put everything together into one package. It's called a top 1% package, where they get everything all together. But I do have options where they can do it a la carte. Obviously, if somebody can't afford the 1% package, or in their situation doesn't need a certain project or option, then I do separate things a la carte wise. But if I'm going to use the giraffe, I'm going to try to promote it with the top 1%, with everything they provide. It just makes more sense to do it that way. But give them options. I don't want to turn some away just because they don't want everything.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love the kind of, we went through that in the longer interview that we did, didn't we? But I love the way that you package up your services into the kind of like top 1% of agents. So this is what the best agents are doing. These are the media packages that we provide in order to kind of accelerate you to that point. So here's the potential. And yeah, I absolutely love that as a kind of method of pricing.
Casey, how many people how many of your clients wants to be in that 1%? It's like not 1%, 99%
all of them want to be in it until they see the price. So that's the part where I have to really push marketing and explaining why it works. But I would say 50% end up going with 1%, because I have a super luxury package that's way more expensive. You know, the psychology of it. You have one that's really, really expensive, one that's just basic, and then you have the golden one right in the middle, and that's where most people land 50% of the time.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And the next question, if agents can sell listings faster, how would I turn that into a selling point when pitching to my clients? And this is from a media provider photographer.
Maybe I can take it. I think what we've been suggesting, we've been in this industry for 10 plus years, and this industry spends an awful lot of time on optimizing for quality. So we just keep chasing the next stage of what's the bestest quality of photography, and that's kind of suddenly gonna make the property marketing better. And there's like this never-ending loop of quality for the media creation, and we see that we can break the chain by focusing on performance. And quality is important. Quality is a very important feature, but focusing on performance, seeing how much engagement you get on socials, how much better the listings perform on portals, and focusing on those numbers will make much easier to sell the service to real estate agent. And the ultimate metric we have been pounding on today is the days on the market, as that's why you should be going with the better marketing toolkit instead of And if that value is not attractive for the seller, then that's not. But to switch the conversation from quality and from just asset types, which is more like a design conversation, but to marketing performance is how we see it.
I think I also could just add also an angle on this question. I think it's a perfect question because the way we see there's a key element for this whole marketing campaigns work is that the collaboration between photographers and agents or whoever is capturing and then supplying as a service. We see that the photographers have a massive role in this whole process of also being partially as an educators for the agents to help them to understand what works best for each channel, right? And explaining how this is going to affect their kind of the sales process later on. So we cannot always rely on agents knowing these things, especially if maybe they're new in the field, etc. So the photographer's role definitely gets more important in this whole process, not just an asset provider or photo provider, but as a kind of a partner to some degree that helps and guides this whole process. And in most cases, they also are in charge of this campaign creation and leading these campaigns, not just saying goodbye at the here are your assets and that's it. So. We think there's many ways that photographers and agents can collaborate and then make partnerships or pricing models that are basically infinite amount. But we see that the role in this position starts from the photographer as well.
Amazing. So I think we are almost there with questions. Janis, we have had a few calls for a factory tour. Somebody said that they'd love to watch like a full factory tour on YouTube. I think I love going to the factory, so I'd be like super happy to see something like that on our YouTube as well. And if people want to see it, then we should get that out there. Let me just check, see if we've got anything else. No, I think that's us for questions for today.
Thanks everyone, and Nick and Casey especially. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you getting your pro cameras. So looking forward for you guys testing and giving us your feedback on how the product is working and any suggestions or improvements that you would want to see from us. As for everyone else, yeah, thanks Janis, thanks Samy, and I guess we're going to see everyone again on the webinar 7 soon. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mikus and Samy, and your special guests, Nick Powell and Agent Casey G. And thanks for the Giraffe360 special offer for the WGAN community. Try the Giraffe Pro camera risk-free for 60 days. Just $123 per month for 2 months with no long-term commitment. Scan up to 10 complete property listings at no additional charge, and the test drive includes all add-ons. For full details and to order, visit wgan.info/giraffe360-pro. If you are watching this WGAN-TV podcast show after the offer expires, you can still redeem Giraffe360 free blue sky replacement for HDR photos with voucher code WGAN at giraffe360.com, where you can build your own bundle and subscribe. If you have follow-up questions about the Giraffe Pro camera or the Giraffe360 photographer program, please post them in the We Get Around Network forum at wegetaroundnetworkforum.com. Or contact Giraffe360 using the Giraffe360 Contact Us page at giraffe360.com. For all WGAN-TV podcast episodes, look for WGAN-TV in your favorite podcast app or go to WGAN-TV.com. Thank you for watching this episode of the WGAN-TV podcast.